Hello once again. How you guys doing? Hope you guys are well and healthy. Hope you guys are doing well in your grind as well. Well, this video in particular, I'm going to talk about which Revan's ticket you should pick. Same goes for Dragons, I guess. Dragons is kind of like a small portion of it, mostly just a Revan's. So I'm just going to try to explain a little bit like why they good and shit like that. Let's start. Okay, so Revan's, we're going to get like one ticket, right? If I recall correctly, because they only mentioned here. You can get it on day 9. So on day 9, we get to pick one of these. We can only pick the one weapon because there's 2 weapons at the moment for each individual Ravans now. They have a secondary weapon. We can't pick that yet. But to be fair, most of them are kind of shit, so it doesn't matter. I'll just start each individual one, okay? So for this is the Mugen one. This is the Mugen sword. It's okay because it gives you a garrison and you get also a small boost to fire, attack, and crit. Yeah, and then you also get extra supplemental, I guess, critical, whatever shit. So that's pretty alright, right? It's pretty okay, but a lot of times for those who are also wondering when it comes to Revans, the big upgrade for Revans comes from the Awakening. Unfortunately, this only gives you full limit break skill level 15, but you have to awaken yourself. In order for you to awaken, it costs you like I think from 1 to 15 is like 75, I think. 1 to 15 costs 75 materials. Like materials as in this one. The Revan materials. Yeah, so all these ones here. Not these ones. This one's here. So this is Mugen. This is Sig. This is Diaspora. This is Agastya, I think. Yeah. Then this is Siete. This is Cosmos. Yeah. So these are all the materials that you need. So remember, 75 from level 1 to 15, and then if you mark 2, if you want to go mark 2, is very very expensive, and it also depends on the weapon type you're going for. So I can show you how much it actually kind of costs here. So it's very expensive because the main material costs like 200, and then the other miscellaneous one, it costs 80. And you thought that was bad. The main material for that will cost you total of 450 from level 15 to 20. Level 15 to level 20 costs 450 of its respective material. It's very, very expensive. So for the most part, this weapon is, I would say, is only good once you get it to Mark 2. Especially for attack. Mark 2 attack is really, really strong for this one. Especially if you're sick and tired of like not having like a proper Magna weapon or whatever. You can actually just use this and just go elemental base instead, rather than using fucking AES or some shit. So there's that. This one's actually really good for that one. And also you want to use this with defense as well if it's possible. Especially if you're going for like hard raids or whatnot, so you can just put it as defense, and if you can mark to it, if you're really that hardcore, by all means, it's really it's quite good. But I don't think you really need to max out all of like Mark 2 in terms of awakening. So like for those who are wondering again, like I have to actually include this because it's kind of like you kind of have to math it out a little bit. So essentially what it is that if you're using draconic weapons, right? Let me just show the example, I guess. If you have draconic weapons, especially when you already done your hierarch, hexachromatic hierarch fucker, you can basically use it alongside with Opus. But if you do not have that thing done, like if it's not like this, if it's like this, if it looks something like this, right? Yeah, Ugin's weapon, dude. If it looks like this, you cannot use Dark Opus with it, okay? So you have to swap this with your Dark Opus. But if you're using Hexa, you already did your Hexa shit and you already upgraded it, it will look somewhat like this. And you can use it together with your Dark Opus. And then if you're using Dark together with your Dark Opus, what essentially it has is that, oh, not that one. You can get these stuff like elemental damage reduction. You can just go to the shop and check if you're wondering what they have. Yeah, just go Telumas. So you have like defense. This is just pure defense, and then this is fire damage reduction, water, and so on and so forth, right? So you have all that for your second skill, but you can also put these as your second skill. You can get amplify. This is the hexachromatic unique one. And then you can also get the increased HP. These two are the ones where you can actually swap the second skill, okay? Amplify, which is, I think this is 5%. Amplify for null enemies, which is just plain element. And then HP is just get pure raw 10k. So it's like basically like giving ring with 10k HP basically on your characters or whatnot. But this applies to everyone, right? So that's also really good. And then the third skill is only for these two, right? You get big boosts to attack and HP. But you can choose either going Magna. Yeah. So Omega is the Magna one. And then you go Primal. Primal is Optimus. So you either go Magna or Primal. That's really entirely up to you. So you can just choose whichever you want. If you're using, like going back to what I was originally supposed to say, if you're using Draconic, right? Especially with this whatever element barrier, right? I mean reduction thing does not stack with the defense stuff. So like defense. Okay, here's my example. I already maxed this guy out. So as you can see, I think it's easier to check from here. So as you can see here, right? There's Earth reduction 5% here. Bear in mind that this does not stack with that. This Earth damage reduction shit, the element damage reduction, caps at 30%. So in other words, if you're using Draconic, right? Already in your grid or whatever, this doesn't do anything. If I recall correctly, this adds only on level, was he 19 or something? Okay, there's one on level 17. You get one which is 2% at level 17, but you get another one at level 19. So you get a total of 5%. Technically speaking, you don't really have to go all the way to 20. So if you're actually using Draconic, you can essentially just go for maybe stick to level 17 or level 18. The most important, I feel like, is to at least just get the weapon to Mark II. Because the weapon, once you get it to Mark II, you get quite a big jump in terms of like stat-wise. And like, like the Awakening just helps out as well. If you can get it to 20. But you don't really have to get it to 20. If you're using like Draconic or whatever, I think you can just stick to like levels 18. Like 3 level 18 should be enough already. You can just go for like the debuff resistance or some shit. If you really want the healing cap, yeah, you have to go all the way though. I kind of sidetracked that quite heavily, but I feel like that needed to be said. So going back again to this, you'd have like the most important ones to have all this, like all these, right? Doesn't matter like what you pick. Like the Awakening, you need at least like 1 or 2 attack, and then defense as well is probably 2 or more. A lot of times you always require that amount. To put it simply, this Mugen sword is garrison and the fucking crit thing, as I said. So this one is really, really good to get it for attack first. And then for the water, this one is really, really strong because this one is, I don't know, straight up like one of the best ones because you get boost to attack HP, multi-attack rate based on how many katanas are equipped. And this is a katana. So you're getting these already by default when you're equipping this, so it doesn't matter. This one is also really good because you get supplemental water allies CA damage based on how high HP is. So you always want to get full HP no matter what, right? So that always applies. You also get water allies special CA cap. So this is very, very strong. This is super, super strong. This weapon is insane, especially if you turn it into Mark II. Mark II is super godlike, man. That's why you see like Schrodinger's like one of the reasons why I go super hard on it. So for the other reason why attack is also very important, especially if you manage to get Mark II, right? Mark II, if you skill level awaken level 20, right? You see the amount of damage this shit has. If you compare it with like say okay, see this is only level 15, okay? Not Mark II. This is not Mark II. Look at what it has. It only has 35% attack, okay? But if you look at a Mark II, right? I'll just go to my CAT sword. I'll just go to Mark II, right? Look at the amount of extra damage you get from this too. You get 25% extra damage, man. This thing is fucking nuts when you have Mark II attack. Mark II attack actually just straight up alone, just this thing alone gives you so much damage. Just this, your awakening alone at level 20. It's nuts. But unfortunately, if I recall correctly, this caps I don't remember how much though. I think it's 40. Was it 40? I don't remember. I think it's 40. Or is it 30%? I forgot. This one caps at a specific amount. I don't remember how much though. But yeah, either way, it's still really good. That's why a lot of times people, whenever they make the Mark II for attack, right, they always use 2. 2 is kind of like the sweet spot for attack. Okay. So yeah, moving along again for Schrodinger's. The reason why Schrodinger's is also really strong is because, like, yeah, you get so much attack from this, you get this, you also get this, and then you also get this. This tree totals up to a lot of damage to your team. You literally can just have nothing but Schrodinger's with like damage, dark opus weapons and shit, and it'll still work just fine. Yeah, see all the Schrodinger's? You can just ignore this too, okay? Literally, you can just ignore this too. But you see how many fucking Schrodinger's I have, and it still does the job just fine. It's actually insane. That this weapon is really insane. So like, what essentially is the case, or how you usually make a Revan's weapon work, is that when you use it, the attack basically gives you a lot of damage, right? Just for raw damage consistency kind of thing. Defense gives you defense, and I think it gives you a bit of healing cap as well, right? Yeah. And then you also get HP as well. So in other words, if you just want to like just have a little bit of damage like sustain to your team, whatever, just put like defense or something. That's why these are so damn strong. These weapons are so strong because the awakening is really, really OP. So for Schrodinger's, a lot of times it's also a really good idea to have like at least 2 of these. I think if you can, because if you can't get it to Mark II yet, right, I definitely suggest you just stick with defense first, because you're not going to have like enough materials to Mark II the damn thing, right? Having some form of defense, and then you put like other random primal and magna shit, right, to actually bump up your raw damage in some way is already good enough, you know? So that's why, like, you first starting out, you want to probably just focus on defense. Same goes for this. You just put defense or whatever. Schrodinger's is one of the most sorted out weapons, especially for Revans. Okay, same alongside with like Siete swords and this one. Okay, so the following one, which is 6 dagger. Yeah, this is a dagger, by the way. So 6 dagger is probably one of the weapons that you will want if you want to go primal. This is the way to go. This weapon, you only need 1. Literally 1. If you go for just 1 only, this weapon at Mark II, right, gives you a fuck ton of damage, like raw damage consistency. Because see, you have Magna here, you have this thing here, you have small Majesty here, and then you have all this here. Literally 1 at Mark II, right? You're done. You get so much damage with this. One of the main reasons why people are actually wanting this is that if you're a hunting enjoyer, hunting is basically a Siegfried's weapon as well, but it's not his Terminus weapon, unfortunately. But yeah, it's the 150 Goemon weapon again, if you're wondering. I'll just show, I guess. Yeah, if you're a hunting enjoyer. So if you're that kind of guy, you definitely want this as well, because you get extra damage if you take damage. And this one has a lot damage every turn. Yeah, you get more damage whenever you take a turn-based damage. So technically, on your party, it applies to your party. That's why this thing is also kind of very, very strong because of that. This weapon is definitely one of the most sorted out weapon for if you want to go hard on Earth, right? You want just have 1 Mark II and you're good already. And then having a special cap for these is also pretty good. You can also technically, like I said, you want defense is also okay. It's not so bad. But yeah, a lot of times I just went for special cap just so I can, you know, do it. All right. For win, a lot of people got really mad at this because this was nerfed. So before the update of the second weapon appearing, this used to the attack thing used to apply to every single element, and this could be used on every single element, and that shit is boring. I'm so glad it got nerfed. I am so glad the nerf came. But either way, for a lot of people still also did not realize you can still use that on every element, by the way, if you didn't know that. It's just not as strong, obviously. Yeah, it's just not as strong. The reason why is that this thing the Awakening doesn't apply to all elements anymore. That's why, as you can see, wind allies only. But this thing applies to everyone. It doesn't matter what element you're using, but it applies. So technically, if you already have good enough for raw damage or whatever shit, you're just gonna ignore the thing. You can actually just use it for this. So referring to that, technically speaking, you can actually combine this together with this. If you're water, right, you can use this with this. It actually works. If you didn't know that, there are actually quite a bit of people that actually did that. They use both of these in together. Like if you do not have like I say, if you do not have like Wemdu's axes, you do not have the exo guns, whatever, all that shit, right? You can literally just farm Schrodinger's and Setes. You can literally just put those two together into a grid and it'll still work and you'll still do damage. It's actually fine because you get so much damage from, like I said, the Awakening Mark II thing. If you already have it on Schrodinger's, it's already good enough. You just need it for the cap, right? So if you just ignore like defense or whatever shit, you can literally put it on fucking you can just put in Siete swords and call it a day. Siete is also another weapon that is very highly sorted as win, by the way, if you guys didn't know. The reason that being is because if you don't know what was the tech before the whole nerf thing, the reason why is that this sword is so popular is because you can use on every single element, right? Like basically anything, right? Anything, any element, whatever, right? That was the tech before. But because it got nerfed to only win only, so you still get what I'm trying to go to, right? You can basically use it for win. It doesn't matter. You literally can just use it for win. You can literally use Siete swords for everything. Literally the end game tech, the end game Far Zero Hierarch Hexachromatic raid, just use Siete swords, okay? It will still work and it's good. It's strong, it gives you defense, it gives you everything. It gives you raw damage, it gives you whatever crap. The Ogi stuff, blah blah blah, everything. You can literally use it. That's why it's still so fucking strong. So I would definitely say out of all these right now, right, my very first pick is my top pick of Revan's ticket is one of these. It's either you go for Schrodinger's or Siete swords. And just pick like defense or some shit, right? You just slowly eventually get to 75. Oops, I almost spilled my fucking water. You just almost try to get to maybe close to 75. You'll get to skill awakening to level 15 and you're pretty much good to go, right? So yeah, this two is definitely one of the main ones. The following two, this one is a little bit questionable in my opinion. This one is a little bit questionable. I don't really like it too much, but there are people that actually kind of made this work. I wouldn't really suggest using your ticket on this. And then same goes for this. This is the Cosmos weapon. This is the Agastya weapon. I forgot to mention. The Agastya weapon is decent. Yeah, it's decent because you can use it to get insane amount of raw damage as well for if you actually manage to Mark II the damn thing. But Agastya is a pain in the fucking dick, man, in order for you to farm that shit. So Agastya, man, I fucking hate that raid so much. Jesus Christ, where the fuck is my... No, there it is. Yeah, so if you're wondering what it is, it kind of looks like that, okay? It gives you a lot of damage, right? And Magna as well. And then you get extra even more raw damage if you awaken it to Mark II, blah, 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 all that shit, right? It's good, yeah? It's good. Yeah, if you can bury the whole Agastya bullshit, then yeah, by all means, right? But honestly, like, if you're going back to like the original question, I think people will be wondering, why is this guy talking so much? I just want to know the answer. Which is the best weapon to pick from this ticket? Instead of giving me a fucking 10 to 20 minute video. So, my main pick of this is obviously just these two. Schrodinger's and Siete, okay? So this is my main ones. Yeah, I'll probably put that in the fucking description as well so people don't fucking complain. But I kind of felt like I should at least explain like each individual like weapon, what is it good as and how it actually works, how it stacks relatively well with his awakening and why awakening is so good and all that shit. I felt like it's kind of needed because a lot of people are relatively new coming in because, you know, they're here for the freebies, right? Let's be real here. There's that. So a lot of times I think these two you can kind of ignore, but you can still try to get it. But if for the most part, because we only have one ticket for this, you either pick Schrodinger's or Siete. Either one. Honestly, it's either one. A lot of times when it comes to like entry level for Revans, my suggestion is to always start off by doing Diaspora, because Diaspora is the easiest to actually do, because as a host you can just do like the whole Ogi stuff, and as long as you can survive, you're pretty much set already. You can just let other people carry you. If other people doesn't carry you because there isn't enough people, that's not your fault at all. That's really just all there is to it. It's really just based on whether or not people are going to join your raid and do it and help carry or whatever. And then once you get this, you can slowly go for that, and then you slowly go from this, you go for this, and then once you go for this, you go for this, and then yeah, and so it's just eventually you can get all 4 elements and shit. This too is just, well, hopefully you're strong enough to do it, right? Because this one is fucking, you go Chaos Ruler tech. This one you go for fucking Righteous Fire, I mean Rising Force. The RF bullshit. Yeah, it kind of sucks, okay? But yeah, end of the day, Schrodinger, Siete is probably the ones you either go for. So there's that. That's hopefully this Revan video is helpful. Hopefully. I know people are going to complain why this guy talks so much, but yeah, I'm sorry. This is how it is for me, right? This is already in my DNA. This is how I tend to explain things. I'm sorry. For the shorter part of it, the 6 dragons is, for those who do not know how this 6 dragons work, right? Basically, 6 dragons bump up your modifier for primal. If you do not know what primal is, again, I guess I should show. The primal and the Magna, right? It's very, very easy to tell. So Magna has this Omega icon here. This is Magna. This is what we consider as Magna. People, obviously the proper wording is supposed to be Omega or whatever shit, but like for the most part, it's like a lot of people, like probably 90% of the players, are more familiarized if you call this as Magna. Okay, so this is a Magna icon. If there's no icon, like this, yeah, see, if there's no icon, right, we call it a normal mod. Okay, this is a normal mod. And then if there's a EX on it, we just call it EX. Yeah, like this. If it's an EX mod, we just call it EX mod. So there's usually like 3 different types of mods, like Magna, Primal, and EX. Primal is normal. They're the same thing. Primal and normal is the same thing. What essentially the dragons really do is that it increases the primal mods. So as you can see here, 40 boost to fire, blah, blah, blah. This weapon skills is only for primal. Remember, this is different from like the Grand Thunderfawn or something. Because Grand Thunderfawn and like Michael or whatnot, right? They are very, very different just because of... but yeah, so like this, you have to take in consideration that this is actually very different. So you see there's like more names. This applies to Magna as well, by the way, if you didn't know that. So this is like basically everything. That's why a character like this is actually very, very strong. You just put in the backline and it just actually gives you extra 20%, 20% extra thing. So that's why. So for dragons, it only buffs up your primal / normal ones on its respective element, by the way. So Willness is for fire, water, blah, 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 blah. And a lot of times, all these gives you supplement. I think all of them give you supplemental, right? The call. If I recall correctly, all of them do. Yeah, all of them do. Yeah, all of them give you supplemental. So the call itself is actually also pretty strong too, if you didn't know that. It's a pretty strong call as well, because you get the turn itself, you get extra supplemental damage. The easiest choice is just pick the one that you do not have, right? Just pick the one you do not have, or you just pick the one that if you do not have a single one of it, just pick the one that you enjoy the most, I guess. That's really my easiest answer for you. And you do not really have to max it out. If you can max it out, by all means, it obviously gets stronger, right? If you can max it out, it's okay. Yeah, because if you max it out, you get 40% instead of 20%. And it's pretty significant to say the least. So if you can max it out, sure. If you can't, it's okay. You can still get like, because 20% is still something, especially if you, like if you slot in like some primal / normal mods into your grid or whatnot, like this thing or whatever, like this, for example. Yeah, or even like if you use the primal version of the opals or whatever, like this, it still adds up, It doesn't really matter. It still helps quite a bit. Just having 20%, especially if you have like for water, if you have Gabriel, you have your Uriel, you have your Thunderfawn, you have your Michael, right? If you have all those characters, right, you just put in the back line, that's the 20% already. And then if you max out the dragon summon, that's another 40%. So those two alone adds up already 60% extra mod. Even if you're Magna, right, that actually adds up quite a bit. So even though you do not have like a lot, because you know, like, where is my fucking Hades? Where the fuck is? Oh, there we go. So like, even though Hades is going to be like 170% or some shit when you max it out or something, like 250 now or whatever, you get 150, 170 for one, right? It doesn't matter even if you do not have that. You can actually just yoink from somebody's support. You have your own like Michael or whatever shit, and then you have your own dragon, and you still get quite a bit. And then if you have, because I know this is very common for a lot of people, right? For newer players, you definitely probably have that or some shit, right? Or you have like 000 or some shit. Just use that as your main summon, and you just put like your support, just find some random people from your support list or whatever. You just goes like raid or whatever. Yeah, you just find someone that has, you know, like this, right? Just pick like that or some shit. Then you just have like insane amount of modifier already. You know what I mean? You don't really have to have both. Why am I on this fucking page? Yeah, you don't really have to have both. Just to give you a brief understanding of how the modifier works, okay? It just gives you like, even though you're using like Magna or whatever, you have like, that's why you have like some of the extra shit, even though you're not using like support as well. If you have some normal mod, which is usually the case if you're Magna as well, because you don't really want to have like diminishing returns. You want to, if you're Magna base, you have mostly Magna weapons, unless you're Dark, we don't talk about that. If you have some Magna weapons, you put some of your EX weapon mods as well. If you're still relatively new, you have like your Astral or whatever. Then you have your Opus, and then you have your some normal mods as well, or primal mods or whatever, just to, you know, just to add up a little bit better. And then if you have the dragons, it adds up a whole lot more. That's how it is, okay? So hopefully that is a little bit more hopefully you can kind of understand that. I know it's a little bit too much to understand sometimes, because this game is fucking complicated as shit. Hopefully that helps in a way. So yeah, dragon, just pick whatever you want, or whichever that you do not have yet. I wouldn't really suggest you to like just go all in on the dragon if you have like only 3 sunstones or whatever. Probably not a good idea. If you have like the bigger summons, you know, like Babu or Beelzebub, whichever you want to call him, you have 000, you have like I guess Yatima or whatever. If you have those, probably you want to sink in stones to that first before you do anything. Dragons is just more for like later on. That's why that's why Sunstones is one of the most sorted out currency. The rarest currency in the game is Sunstones. Unless you Pepega credit like crazy, you swipe your card, then you get it, right? Because I mean, look at this. You can get one right now, isn't it? Just click on this real quick and go buy one. Yeah, I'm too poor for that shit though, but fuck that. just buy it real quick. Just fucking pay to win, dude. Log in. Yeah, but that means gacha, right? What do you expect? Obviously, it's gonna be pay to win. That's that. Hopefully, it's clear enough for you guys. If not, like I said, as always, if you have any issues, just come to my Discord. Ask there. They are really cool guys. If they're not cool guys, if they bully you, just DM me. I'll kick their ass. Okay, simple. If not, you can just come to the stream and just ask there. It's just, you know, just ask there. I'm not gonna kill you. Yeah, I'm not gonna kill you. I mean, sometimes maybe if you spoil me, then maybe I'll kill you, but you know. Alright, so thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys find this video helpful in any way, shape, or form. I'll see you guys next time. Good luck with your grind and all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys. Peace, XDD, and all that stuff. Alright, bye-bye.